Hey, what's going on, guys? Oh, let me turn the music down. Hold on. Boom, there we go. What's going on, chat? Good to see you guys. Today we're here with TheAKGuy and Nikita, of course. You guys know who he is. You should probably know who Brandon is as well. Sadly, Flannel Daddy Grantham could not join us today. He had some special work. He's working real hard over in Japan right now, hanging out with, I don't know, who knows what, samurai cats and stuff. But just so you guys are aware that this podcast is not like the typical podcast you're used to seeing with Nikita, where we ask him when VoIP is and when cheaters are going to get banned and when we're going to fix desync. The goal of this is to more like just talk about a bit of politics, guns, and maybe some things that kind of contrast with Tarkov. But Tarkov is really going to be like 10% of this podcast. So if you're here for like Tarkov news and information, this is not going to be it. There will be like maybe a little bit, a couple questions, but that's about it. But the goal is just to kind of shoot the shit and like hang out and ask Brandon when the AK-50 is going to get added to Tarkov.
Hey man, how come we're not bullying Nikita, but we can bully me? I don't like that.
Finally.
Dude, it'll be the coolest streamer item though. Like literally, Brandon will get a gun. It doesn't even work in real life yet.
Assuming it'll work.
Yeah, it's not a problem. You know that the thing is, we can make it work in the game, and it will be at least it will be working in the game. It will be really cool.
At least then I'll be able to see what it will look like when it works, right?
Yep. That's still a really cool system.
Yeah, but I remember that last time we talked about it, and I said like it's not a problem. We just need to the models, like the basic models, to represent all the proportions and stuff. So we can like do it as you want, when you want, because literally we have some friends within the guns industry, and they preparing some new stuff, and we like waiting for them. They will release it, and we will release it approximately at the same time. So it's like a big promo or something.
Max Scav Karma gun.
Yeah, something like that.
That'd be funny.
I'm totally into this kind of gun, and I think it will be really interesting to shoot, especially if we will do additional mechanics for it, like you will be able to shoot it only in prone position, for example, and yeah.
Red Orchestra II had a really good system for what's that Russian 50 cal from World War II, the anti-tank gun?
PTRS 41.
Yes, the PTRS,
the
really huge one. Yeah,
5 millimeter, I think.
Yeah, the thing was a cannon, but you could only shoot it via the bipod or when prone. You could shoot it from the hip, but it was like just super unreliable because it was so large and heavy.
Yeah, if you're shooting it from the hip or the shoulder, you're shooting basically like minute of like RV. Like it's not.
Yeah.
There was a funny story that the PTRS and like related guns was widely spread right after like World War II in Russia, and many of citizens and villagers, I don't know how to say it, like they store it underneath their
floorboards.
Yeah, and some guy, like old man, just sawed off all the lengths of the barrel, like all of it, and he wanted to make some compact PTRS. And when he actually shot with it, his shoulder was like blown apart, and he died because like literally the recoil was too much. Like half of his body was like disappeared.
Sorry, it's kind of fucked up to laugh at, but it's goddamn.
I'm not surprised. 14.5 is it's pretty considerable.
Yeah, it's basically like a tank round.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was an anti-tank round. I almost bought one on Gunbroker like a couple of weeks ago. There was a real 14.5 PTRS 41. They just wanted a little too much for it. I put in an offer.
How much were they going for?
I want to say they wanted like 18 grand. I put in an offer for like 10 or 12 or something, and they didn't take it.
Bummer.
A little overpriced, but a friend of mine who's really into all that destructive device, machine gun stuff, warned me about it. He's like, yeah, he's like, I understand you're going to have to shoot it for a video. He's like, don't shoot it a lot because they explode.
So it was like live round. It's not like dummy round or something. It was live round.
Right. Yeah, no, it was a live. So it's hard to, in the US, it's hard to own stuff like that. for a civilian, because it's technically considered a destructive device. Anything over 50 caliber is a destructive device, but with the right licensing, you can own it.
And we are not allowed to have anything like this as a civilian. So because it's literally you cannot even afford it. You don't have places to buy it. I have the dummy round for BMP over there.
Was it the 20
It's
millimeter?
OFZ shell. It's like in the game.
Oh, yeah.
I
Let's
have
use
one
it.
in
You
my
have 20
shop now
millimeter.
because of Tarkov.
Yeah, like it's so cool actually, and I can even imagine it's like the full belt of them, full belt.
Oh yeah, they're
And
heavy.
I actually saw how BMP and BMPT like shoots with these guys and much more bigger guys, and damn, it's like disastrous to actually see it and hear it because the sound is something something, and yeah, it's a good thing. It's a cool thing. But again, if like it's impossible in Russia to buy this like live kind of
Mhm.
thing, explosive ammunition, armor piercing ammunition, steel core ammunition, and everything and everything. We are not allowed to have 545 PS ammo with the steel core. It's not allowed. We are only allowed to have hunting ammunition, soft points, hollow points, and you know that kind of ammunition which trying to bypass the laws, saying naming like stuff differently, like uh, composite uh, ammunition, and it contains an actual like steel core, small one, like just to fit in the legal like thing, and
Sounds like stuff we do here in the U.S.
yeah, and the gun laws always like anti-gun politicians trying to cancel it, remove it, and everything every single year. And the last year, this year, they actually succeeded, and next year will be pretty bad for the whole gun industry in Russia because they removed all of this cool and starter guns with the smoothbore, so-called smoothbore rifles, 366, 345.
Could you explain for people in chat who may not know like the whole process of that of like being in Russia, you can't own rifled, barreled,
Yeah, like
semi-automatic.
it's pretty simple and difficult at the same time. In Russia, you're not allowed to have rifles, like rifle barreled weapons or rifle barrels, anything that gives the circular movement. How do you say it actually when the bullet
Rotational.
rotational movement? Yeah, any device which will give the round, the projectile rotational movement is a rifle actually, and it's not allowed for the starters, for the beginners to have that kind of guns. You need to obtain and have smoothbore guns for the 5 years. Shotguns, pump action, 20 cal, uh, 20 cal, and different kind of guns. And several years ago, I think like 10 years ago, 8 years ago, the company called TechCream created new caliber called 366 TKM. It's a smoothbore bullet, and the rifle for it, the gun for it, is the same AK, the same like platform that we are familiar with, but only smoothbore barrel with the like part of rifled part called Paradox or Lancaster. It's old technology which which gives the ability for the shot like bullet of shotgun shells the ability to rotate, and it gives like a little bit of stability during
Right.
their flight.
So it's kind of like we have rifled slugs that like the
Yes,
barrel itself is
exactly.
smoothbore, but the projectile has something on it.
Yeah, and that's it. It gives us a great opportunity, great ability to have AKs. This like the same AKs. It was like AKM 1967's AKM. It's just they removed the auto fire. They changed the barrel for this smoothbore barrel, and that's it. And of course, like the bolt part I don't know exactly all of the terminology in English, but the small part which actually locks
The locking
The
lug?
shell,
bolt itself.
the bolt.
Um,
Yes, and this is
this
it.
part.
And they yeah, and they created the whole variety of guns, mostly the AKs, like based on AK-105, AK-104, AK-104. So 7.62 by 39 AKs, a lot of them were changed to 366 TKM guns, and it's really cool because it gives us an ability to operate with the AKs, train like real AKs, and the accuracy is more than enough for the actual training. 100 meters, even 200 meters, it's pretty okay to actually hit targets, train, and get familiar with all of these mechanics like tactics and gun drills related to the AKs. Later, they added Mosin rifles, chambered with 9.6 Lancaster, is also like big, round, rechambered from 7.62 by 54R, and many others. SKS chamber 366, even AR platform. I have several guns. This is like ARs just chambered with 366, changed barrel, changed like bolt, the same magazines, so it works. Not it's not working like a charm, like an AR for 5.56, but again, it works, especially for those who are waiting for the rifles these 5 years. It's a really good opportunity, really good like uh, case to actually feel all of these guns, not waiting for the 5 years for the rifles. And everything will be cancelled next year because all of these guns will be stated as rifles. And
So what does that mean for like guys like you who already own these things?
I'm okay because I'm already bought them, and we don't have in Russia. We don't have that thing as laws are getting. Those are applied from the moment they got adopted in the system.
So in the US we call that being grandfathered in. So basically, like the law passes on this date. If anyone before that date, if they owned those guns, like they're good, they can keep them. They're not breaking the rules. But anybody from that point forward,
The thing is, like our gun laws next year will be. It's all started with, of course, mass shootings, and it's always starting about this in the world, and we are not an exception. And they hardened like all of the process for those who are like just a new one who just wanted to start get familiar with guns. They also did many changes to that. So for those who are not familiar with anything, the first gun you'll be able to have is double barreled 20 caliber shotguns, for example, and that's it. For 2 years you will be locked to have only double barreled or single barreled shotguns without magazine. So they uh, uh, like locked you from any other guns. We have magazines or magazine fed or something only like this, like only chambered, one single chambered guns, two barreled or single barreled.
was there something that happened like recently in Russia that triggered
Yeah,
this?
it was shooting like some crazy guy took a semi-auto Turkish shotgun. He bought it like he got the license with all the stuff like by the books. He bought that semi-auto shotgun and do some damage, really bad things. And
That's unfortunate.
yeah, and politicians decided that the guns are the problem.
Yeah, so
And
they made some laws that wouldn't have stopped the shooting.
yes, because like there is lots of there was, and right now there is a lot of talks. There are a lot of talks about it. Like, can you actually make some damage with two-barreled shotgun will be like more damage or less damage, because again, they don't understand actually what they do, especially for those who are just wanting to, I don't know,
Regular
have some kind
people.
of,
Well, I
yeah, some
mean,
kind of hobby.
Well, no, when you,
politicians generally have a big detachment from like regular citizens, and I believe this goes across all worlds. Is that you have these politicians who have armed guards 24/7 with AR-15s, AKs, whatever, guys with pistols, Secret Service, whatever you want, and they're completely detached from that of like a regular citizen and the things that we would be interested in doing ourselves, like on our free time, just like going to the range and wanting to practice and shoot targets. But then they see that as a threat and like, oh, you're a possible threat. You can't go do that.
Yeah,
That's bad.
they don't
You
they
know.
don't need they don't need us, and I'm talking about us, Russian gun enthusiasts, because
Sure.
why? Why actually do, like, I don't know, this we are we're doing stuff which is kind of strange for them. Like, come on, you're like civilians dressed like a Spetsnaz with all this
Yeah,
stuff.
role players like
Role players.
yeah.
Why do you need guns? Why do you need these kind of guns? Especially when you like modded it, like, I don't know, something with like with the drum magazine and stuff.
Mhm.
It doesn't look like a hunting gun,
Right.
but legally and technically and everything, it's a hunting rifle, hunting gun, hunting
Yeah.
shotgun, and they just like, oh, come on, there's something, and they try to make some like limitations to that thing. And I don't know, like there's a lots of, especially people from the Russian gun industry, from the big like companies, they're saying like this is the start of the end of the civilian market for
Was the
Russian.
civilian market in Russia always quite big for firearms? Like, has there like maybe not like comparative to the U.S., but like, is there like a large civilian gun ownership community in Russia?
No,
No, not really.
that's why we don't have any lobby. We don't have any power to actually influence of the decisions. And this is it. We have, the community is divided. We don't have any centralized like NRA or something. It's just a bunch of people. Some of them like to survive. Some of them like to shoot the plinking and stuff. Some of them like to dress up like a real Spetsnaz, and they hate each other. You know,
Right.
hate
this is
each other.
actually very familiar to American
Yeah,
gun politics.
it is.
And
Like people like hate on airsofters all the time. Like, you know, going out and practicing with airsoft. But airsofting, in my opinion, is actually like it's actually really good training.
yes,
All of the mechanics of reloading, positioning, shooting. You know, maybe
correct.
it's not as loud or, you know, intense or violent as real guns, but it's incredibly practical.
Especially for
Lucas,
younger guys who
yeah,
can't afford or literally are not legally allowed to own this stuff. It's a good
yeah,
entry. Like, you get familiar with firearms, how they work, everything. You get used to, and you do the cool guy stuff, which allows you when you turn 18 to buy, an AR-15 or whatever, and you start
hmm
like building yourself up. And that's like that. Airsoft, I believe, is how like probably at least a quarter of how gun guys get minted in this new
Oh,
generation.
definitely. I mean, and I feel like with gamers too. And Tarkov has done. Even Lucas, last time we were here, Lucas said that Tarkov has done tremendous amounts of help towards the gun community for people in the United States.
Yeah.
Because, you know, EFT is literally like, it's like gun nomenclature, the video game. Like all the attachments are one-to-one to real life, the guns, the calibers, the magazines, everything. And a lot of people believe that like the gamers of today are like the future soldiers of tomorrow, like the people who could very well be fighting wars in the future. And you know, some people think that's a good thing. Some people think it's a bad thing. But for me, I don't think it's really either. I think it's just kind of right down there in the middle. It kind of has a bit of a duality to it. But I always find that to be pretty interesting. And airsoft again kind of goes hand in hand with gaming to a degree. The only difference is you're actually out there moving around, and you're outside, you know, around nature, getting hot and sweaty versus being
Yeah,
inside an AC room.
I actually started to play airsoft more because I have like gun training, gun ranges stuff, and all of this gear. It's a good thing to test this gear in the field because we are playing airsoft not like just deathmatch or something. We are like
Training.
train and model things like real tactics, the radio communications and stuff. And it's really cool and interesting, especially if you have people in the same mindset, like on the field in the like an actual like airsoft session. It's really good and it's really cool and interesting, and it gives you like a lot of questions, a lot of things to improve yourself, like especially your physique, your tactics,
Mm-hmm.
your gear, and your like basic gun manipulations. Because on the range, you're just standing, shooting. You can like run from one target to another. You can change
Mm-hmm.
positions, but again, you will not be able to fully cooperate with your partner, for example, and you utilize the radio and like to actually shoot moving targets and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Of
And
course,
people trying to shoot back at you too. That's a totally different
yes,
experience as well.
yes, it's really good. I like always recommending everybody to test it out because it gives a lot of things, and it gives me a lot of understanding too about the game. And yeah, like I like perfectly understand. Like somehow somebody like started to play airsoft, and he said to me like, oh, this aspect of the game is not right because I tested it like in the airsoft.
I,
And
I wanted to ask, like, how does the airsoft, in terms of like movement as like an infantryman, compared to how Tarkov is right now? Because obviously, I mean, I know, everybody knows the movement in Tarkov is fucking way too fast and very arcadey. But
it all depends. It all depends on the actual unit because we are playing with the familiar like typical uh, guys. It's
right,
our
yeah.
mostly it's our colleagues from the office, and they're not military. They don't have military background, but we have somebody at least who had an actual military background, and he moves totally different. And it all depends on the situation. He can move fast, he can move slow, cautiously, like silent or not. And we can see that he has like this huge amount of experience, which is like transition to his like the basic behavior, like
Hmm.
basic movement. He doesn't like think about it. He just do it. He
So
just
you're
move.
saying he's like bunny hopping in like 80 peaking doorways at like 100 ms, like he's just moving without inertia, like a super saiyan? I'm just kidding.
No, of course not. And yes, like this kind of training, this kind of activities, uh, like it raises a lot of questions. Like especially we have a lot of things done just for the playability in the game, and some of the aspects needs to be changed to be more realistic. And the general question is, if we will try to change it, the game could be unplayable right after, and it will not be cool.
Yeah.
And it's always like we need to find the perfect place and perfect moment to change it, an
Hmm.
amount change it.
For me personally, I feel like inertia is one thing that's going to make the game much better in a lot of ways, because it's going to be the proper realistic movement of a human body, right? But I think at the core, it's just players move too fast. I was just talking to Willers about this, and like we're at the point in the wipe where like a lot of people have max level strength. And at max level strength, you have a 20% movement speed on top of your walking speed as well as sprinting speed. And since the players are moving much faster and the weight system isn't as punishing to still affect players at a high level like that, it creates like more like laggy, desyncy fights because players are just moving faster.
Mm.
You're 80 strafing from having 0 strength to max level strength, from just hitting A and D within 200 milliseconds is like it's like a meter and a half or so.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just slowing the game's overall movement speed down would help, because me and Will talked about this whenever point 12 came in with the animation overhaul. The movement of the game increased in speed. Like the overall operator speed in general is much faster than it was before. And we've talked about it pretty extensively, and we don't know exactly what changed because obviously it was a huge overhaul to the movement of the game. But the operator speed in general is just too quick. It's faster than Apex Legends, you know. And I think a lot of the people in the Tarkov community agree that, you know, the gameplay is, in terms of just how players move, is very, very fast. Because I think, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, at max level strength with no movement speed debuff, your walking speed at 100% is 16 miles an hour. Sprinting is 26 miles an hour. So you're walking at like a jogging pace with full gear, and you're sprinting faster than an Olympic runner at 26 miles an hour. That's faster than Usain Bolt, or as fast as him.
I'm not sure that this is correct, but I will check. And the thing that just I wanted to say that we are right now implementing the inertia and everything related to that, especially like overweight and everything will influence on this inertia.
Definitely.
And I'm testing it like several times per week, and it's a big change. We will see. We will see how it will change the pace of the game. Because right now it's like I like what I see because you can feel the weight of your character, and it's more realistic, especially when you are like overweight with a lot of gear. You have this inertia, like your.
Is it like that experimental, like where your character moves from like the torso, or is it like the more traditional system that you mentioned in the past?
Something like combined all of this stuff, all this idea together, and most likely it will be tested on ETS. I don't know. We will see. Yeah, we will see
Cool.
because there is like we tested several models of this inertia, and we like selected one of it because it looks real. It looks more real than anything.
I'm excited to see it.
Talking about like the gun laws and stuff, you are in the pretty same position in terms of limiting stuff, like the politics trying to. Like,
We actually did have a pretty good victory today. So apparently, you're familiar with the ATF?
yes.
So there was this guy named David Chipman, who's a fucking crazy son of a bitch. He was nominated by our current administration in the White House to be the head of the ATF, and he wanted to take everything, like everything. And he's gone. He's not getting it. Brandon probably knows a lot more about this.
Literally no shit. After we're done here, I have to film an emergency gun meme review about that. But he was a real bad one. So we haven't had a real director of the ATF in quite a few years, and this new one that was appointed by Joe Biden was very like very anti-gun as far as like testifying before Congress because they have to approve him to be in his position.
Dude, those interviews.
Dude, it's bad because he's like, "Can you define an assault weapon?" He's like, "Oh, no, I don't really
No.
want to." And then they finally press him about it, and he's like, "Any semi-automatic rifle above 22 caliber." And
So that's everything. Even, and I think he wanted to even say it was handguns too, would account as an assault weapon.
Yeah, some part of his definition would include like handguns that held more than 10 rounds with a detachable magazine. So Makarovs are cool. I'm good. But yeah, everything else.
1911s are also good. Hell yeah, brother. 4 to 5 ACP.
It was really bad. He was really a bad one, and thankfully we were able to tie it up enough that it became politically inopportune to continue pushing.
We have like the same kind of person, head of the installment related to gun control in Russia. He here is the same. He put in the single line types of like weapons, types of like semi-auto, automatic, and the names of the guns in the same lines. Like we are people not supposed to have automatic, semi-automatic, and Kalashnikov, for example, or like Molot оружие guns, and he thinks that молот оружие guns is like the type of gun, like the type of like mechanical type of gun or something.
Yeah.
And it was like on the top tier meetings, like government meetings, and everybody else like, yeah, he's right. Vote yes, vote yes. And and this is it. And we got this new like gun law that will be applied next year. Yeah, and this like Russian ammunition, Russian weapon imports.
Oh
ban.
yeah, we got fucked on that. How much is steel case right now? It's like 40-50 cents a round right now still, and
It's
it's only
starting to come down a little bit because there's
really.
so I did a video on this the other day. It's a little, the information's not quite clear because the new sanctions basically say that future Form 6 imports or Form 6 permits will be subject to a policy of denial, is the way that they phrase it. Basically, like future import permits will be denied
Mhm.
until 12 months from now when they like potentially reconsider. But basically, it means that the import permits that have already been approved are still okay, which could be millions of rounds of ammo. We have no idea how much that is. So it's kind of anybody's game. It kind of went up, it spiked up. It was like finally coming back down to like 25 cents a round. And now, and then it went up like 50, 55 cents. People are paying 70 cents. But now it's down to like high 40s, which isn't good, but
That's
at
still
least
not
it's
good.
coming down.
Yeah, too much. We actually have an increased prices for ammo too, but not that much. Mostly it's related for the metals being overpriced overall in the world. And as far as I remember, uh, one round of 505 by 39 costs, let me,
And this is just like a standard like FMJ lead core.
yeah, yeah, FMJ lead core 11.5, 11.5, 5, 11.6 cents.
Oh my
6 cents a round.
God.
That's so cheap. What do you?
Oh, that hurts.
Oh.
And yeah, but my ammunition ammunition 366 ammunition costs 40 cents, I think 40
40
cents.
cents. Wow.
Yeah, like my kind of
Green
ammunition
tip, like
costs,
556 green tip.
No, 366.
Oh, 366, 366.
Yeah, yeah. I don't even know if they can get green tip in Russia. Can you get M855?
no,
Probably not.
no, it's military-ish stuff. And 556 in Russia is also limited by Russian, mostly by Russian plan, like ammo plants.
Mm.
And let me say how much 556 costs. 556 Fallout 4 price. Google's saying. 2 to 3 Remington. 24 rubles. It's just a second.
Just to clear something up in chat, just so you guys know, assault weapons is a made-up term by politicians. It doesn't actually define anything. This cup could be an assault weapon. My keys could be an assault weapon. It's not anything that's defined. It's literally anything that you can use to assault another person. The reason why they call it an assault weapon is to scare you, is to make rifles and shit seem scary. It's literally a made-up term. So there's
Right.
really not a lot of point in debating that.
Because like assault rifle technically is there's a real definition to that.
Yeah.
But assault weapon is completely made up in like the late 90s.
Yeah, it was just meant to fearmonger people.
Yeah, because assault rifle is any rifle
pencils.
that's capable of like.
Pencils could be an assault weapon.
Because assault rifle is any rifle that's capable of like select fire. I think that's the technical definition there. But like assault weapon is
Brandon has some assault rifles
behind me.
Yes, he's got a few, and they're very fun. I've shot them.
So 556 by 45 FMJ costs 32 cents in Russia.
That's actually pretty decent. Is it steel case or brass?
FMJ.
No, the case, like is it
The
steel?
case?
Is it steel?
Is it this right here?
It's bimetal. It's like copper, not steel. We're not allowed to have steel
Well, I mean,
No,
steel casing,
steel,
like
steel
the
casing.
actual casing of the drone.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, yeah, probably it's a steel case because it looks like
It's
steel.
cheaper.
Yeah, like it's a
Yeah.
cheap round, 556 cheap round. Usually it's more like 48 cents, maybe 50 cents of a dollar here, and it was cheaper actually. But again, this ammo, Russian 556 ammo, is not good, and if you want to have something fancy like Fiochi 556, but
She's fancy.
yeah,
Not an
like
American, Nikita.
I'm looking at it, and it costs $1.3 per round. 1.3.
Wow. Yeah, that is kind of pricey.
Damn.
Yeah,
Yeah, holy shit.
this stuff is I just put it that the American, like the 223, what we can get here, like the 556 from Russia, the Tula. I got this for like maybe, I don't know, 45 cents a round. So it's very similar.
We're like starting to equalize in terms of prices.
Yeah.
Because we started to have like expensive AKs, you know. I don't know about like cheap ARs here. The cheapest AR, I can say you how it costs. Just a second. The cheapest AR will cost here 1,600.
Damn.
1,600.
I think a cheap AR here, 900, 2,000 bucks. I don't really. I know there's some that can go cheaper than that, but they are fucking dog shit. They are not good.
Yeah,
the
like low end of
Olympics.
like what you would recommend to a person is like $900.
Yeah, and that's like base model.
Mm-hmm. It's not that cheap actually.
Oh yeah, I guess the M&P Sports. Yeah, those are pretty cheap.
What are they, like $700-800?
Yeah, something like that. I think there's actually a couple for sale when we did the sale at Montequema.
I've got one like right over there. But yeah, I mean, they're not bad. I haven't had an issue with them, but
they work.
Yeah, they work. That's about the best thing you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're not going on the just as good train.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah, AKs here are like, especially with the decrease in imports lately, because you can't, like, AK-74 prices here in the US, even just for parts kits, has been absurd in the last year, especially the last year, but really the last 2 years, because 545 pricing, like guys like Robert Bowman, and like if you know anybody in like the import community who go to places like Poland, Hungary, places like that, and buy up warehouses and just cut it up and import it to the States. They haven't found AK-74s for like 10 years. And
They're
so, like,
they're so uncommon here. I mean, 545 even on its own is such like a uncommon round in the U.S. I mean, it's pretty obviously it's popular in Russia, but
it is.
Yeah,
but, I mean, that's something that, like, when I remember I was in the brief stint, I was in college a few years ago. I used to buy those kits all the time, Bulgarian AK-74 parts kits, which is the complete gun minus receiver and barrel. I used to buy them for $250, and now they sell for, just a few years later, they sell for $1,200, $1,300.
I mean, Bulgarian kits are really good too. Like they make some of their steel is really nice for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle Kalashnikov said it himself, that aside from Russia, he said Bulgaria made the best AKs and possibly better than some of the Russian factories.
Yeah,
he said Arsenal is very good.
Yeah, I still have my original Bulgarian Arsenal, and that was actually the first gun I ever shot. And man, it's a milled receiver, and it's just still one of the smoothest guns I have, and has had 10,000, 20,000 rounds through it.
I'm really curious to shoot from an AK, not Russian AK, because all we have here is not mostly, it's 100% Russian AKMs, old ones or new ones, AK-105 and stuff. So it's made by Izhmash Kalashnikov, and the only like AK style gun I shot was VZ-57, I think. Like this.
Oh yeah, those things are weird. Isn't that the Finnish? It's Finnish.
Czechoslovakia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it has like an open bolt and everything.
That hurts, man. Like, you have no idea how much of a flex. What you just said, I'm sure it's perfectly true, but it is such a flex to guys like us because we get all the rest of the shit.
We get the hand-me-downs that nobody wants from Russia. But when you come to America, Nikita, Brandon will build you an AK same day, and we'll shoot it same day.
We can build an AK in my shop same day. Like you can come down here and we will build up an AK from the bottom up.
But unfortunately, I will not be able to carry it back to Russia.
Yeah.
That would be a really weird thing, is having to smuggle an AK back to Russia.
Like, what's this? It's an AK, and so it's built by Colonel Higuera. Oh, all right, you go ahead.
Customs like,
oh, you get gulag for extra long time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what else is really new, I guess, Brandon, going on with U.S. gun politics right now, other than David, aside from the import ban?
If I can flip that back around, I was actually really curious about something about the. We actually, believe it or not, at least in the AK circles, we follow Russian gun politics quite a bit, and so we knew about a lot of that stuff as it was kind of happening. I'm curious about some of the stuff about like 366, because like a lot of it was, I guess, the problem with like the loophole with the rifled projectile. Is it possible to retain that without the rifled projectile and just this complete smoothbore projectile, complete smoothbore rifle, or did they just completely kill it?
That's an idea, and as far as I heard, I think some of the gun manufacturers will create this fully smooth barreled AKs, because again, a lot of people just want an AK for the authenticity, like just an AK, and it will shoot as like bad. It will shoot really bad. Like the accuracy will be bad. But I'm actually don't think so, because if you want to shoot on a distance like maximum 100 meters, it's okay, because the accuracy will be all right, because you can shoot the slugs from the pump action shotgun on 100-meter target, and it's possible. So
Right.
I think I think they will do this thing. They will create this fully smooth barrel for that kind of purposes, and I don't know. I actually I would do that, because it's a good idea, and it doesn't require a lot of like changes and everything.
For sure, because you use the same bolt, like 9x39, and that's the other thing that I meant to ask about, because I believe like 366 is basically just 9x39, because if you're going by like imperial units, it's 0.65, I believe, is 9x39 versus 366. It's literally 1,000th of an inch difference.
What's actually funny, in Tarkov, if you want to craft 366 AP, you take SP6 9x39, and then you craft them together, and that's how you make it in the game. So in theory, like, yeah, you could, because you could totally make that and probably shoot it out of a 366 gun, and it'd probably work. Maybe YouTube video, perhaps, Brandon. Maybe we'll make a new YouTube video.
So that's the funny thing. You see, that's the funny thing, Nikita. This is really funny, because I keep getting asked to do videos on like, oh, can we do a 366 AK? I'm like, you don't understand. Like, the Russians don't want to shoot 366. They're shooting 366 because they have to. That's like our arm brace. It's like somebody in a country where like SBRs are perfectly legal, like short barreled rifles. Like, do a video with like the SB tactical brace. It's like, no, no, we don't even want to shoot this. We wish we could use a stock. Like, it's not something that's great. It's just something that we have to use because it's better than nothing.
I'm still waiting for my Form 1 to clear for my Bren. I haven't gotten the paperwork back. It's only been like 2-3 weeks, though, I think. It's only been 2 or 3 weeks. But you usually get an email.
Talking about the 366 and 9.6, it's a very effective hunting round. And a lot of hunters use 366 and 9.6 Lancaster to stop a really big animals.
I've seen you shoot armor with that on Instagram. Holy fuck, it does a lot of damage to plates. Like, holy shit.
It's devastating, especially on like the big targets like boars, bears, and stuff. And a lot of Jaegers all around Russia use this kind of gun because it's compact, it's easy to use, it's AK, and You can have 30 round mag, all of the optics, all of the stuff, even the sound moderator to hunt actually, and they will not cancel it entirely, I think, and the hunters will still be able to use it somehow, I think. But
And
I don't know.
Jaegers is hunters, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Jaeger,
Like, we have,
that motherfucking bitch get mad at everyone.
we have this kind of people called Jaegers. They're just like moving around the hunting grounds and it's like, hey, you go over here, my friend.
And they
What's
get
over
mad when you
there?"
do work for other people, right? Like they always just get pissed off, right?
Yeah, it's a thermal sight all you got, right? Okay, go here, and he will find like a lot of will try to take a lot of like as much money as possible from you for that forbidden thermal sight and forbidden sound moderator, because we have this hunting laws too, and there is a line in it like something like you need to give an animal a chance. You're not supposed to like cheat in the hunt. In the hunt, you need to give the animal a chance. So don't use like special devices and stuff. Don't use like grenade launchers. Don't use tanks and
But
artillery.
just hunting
love
deer with
this.
tanks? What's going on?
This is like,
You
I
know.
just realized that the Jaeger quests are basically the American equivalent of FUDs. Like just the
Hell yeah,
old
brother.
hunting guys, like, you need to use a double barrel shotgun if you're going to go hunting.
Oh,
I
God.
literally just put that together. I'm sorry, I'm maybe I'm a little
Yeah.
slow.
No, that's funny. It's actually, I think that's pretty true.
Yeah, like the community in Russia, it's like several, as I said before, it's like several bunch of people. We have a lot of hunters, and they don't give a fuck about your like tacticians and for those with fancy pants with all of this fancy rifles, AR kind
They
of
don't care about
rifles.
your cry pants.
Yeah, and they just like want to hunt. They like have like with steel in Russia and then in US too. I think there's a lots of areas and a lot of people living in these areas with only kind of income is hunting. You need to hunt to survive, literally. And
I respect that personally. I think that's pretty cool.
like like they're professionals. They can like we have a lot of natives within our territory, really old native people, and the hunting for them is like the natural way of life. And it's always funny to see that they dress like cavemen, for example. They are too outdated in terms of appearance, but they armed with the TKMs, with an optics, with the silencers, and like it's something like from the Far Cry, something really strange, but like they do their job and they understand like weapons and how to use them, and they utilize the most efficient ways to get the game, how you call it in US, the game. I don't know exactly why do you call the hunting and the animals the game.
Well, we call them like, I don't know why, but they call it game. Like the animal itself is the game, and the game is to go. Like, have you heard that before, Brandon? Like referencing
Yeah,
animals
like
as
hunting,
game.
like big game hunters or
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
That's kind of weird. I don't know. I mean, I respect hunters a lot because for me, like, I feel like a lot of humanity, like we've been very disconnected. Like we have grocery stores and we can just go and buy our meat and stuff like that. Where like in the past, like getting meat was like, almost like a celebration because you had to go out and you had to go hunt it and find it. And it was always in short supply. It wasn't just like easy to acquire.
It was a celebration. It's almost like humanity used to reward those that were producers and were able to win at the only thing that mattered.
Weird. So weird how that is. Strange.
When we have like talks about the hunting and everything related, we always remember the US with this thing, and maybe you will say something about it. The boars, and you hunt boars from the helicopters with night vision and stuff. It's something like your government issue the like the green light to eradicate the boars with every means possible. Can you say something about it? I saw it on YouTube many times.
Yeah,
Like,
so that's something that we're able to do here. I'm going to refrain from making any jokes that could get Clean's account removed. But that's something that,
So
especially
considerate.
here in Texas, is a problem because there's a lot of like the boars, the wild hogs, things like that. Like that, it's such a problem as far as like to the ecosystem, and
They're
like
very
they'll
invasive.
come into it's like they breed super fast, and they'll come into a residential area and start goring up, your golden retriever and things, and it's just real problem. And so there's literally a no bag limit. You can hunt it in the state of Texas, I believe, still
Mhm.
any way you want.
Yeah.
There's no restriction.
I mean, it's because they fuck the environment up. They eat everything. They shit everywhere. Like Brandon said, they breed like crazy, and you don't even want to eat them. Yeah, you don't even want to eat them either because like their meat is so tense and full of like testosterone, and like it's not like a pleasant meal by any means.
We don't have this in Russia, I believe. I'm not like so familiar with the hunting procedure in Russia, but you always need to have a license to kill an animal, and the licenses are different. You need to use special calibers, and you're not supposed to go full rampage with them. So it's regulated, and it's regulated by Jaegers. And they roam in on these hunting grounds and always checking, like, oh, you shot that little something, and this is it for you. It's only like a single animal for you today, and something like this. Okay. What's more?
What is more? Brandon went to go take a piss real quick. Chat is just bugging me to ask you about questions about Tarkov, but I'm not going to.
Answer some questions. I don't know, like
Sure. I have some from Nice Guy who does he does the QAs with you.
I know. Yeah.
So he had two questions. So first one was, are you and the team still thinking about doing an after raid replay, like a theater mode, like post raid review, like type?
We are like thinking about adding some kind of feature in the arena mode, in arena like DLC, because this kind of change will require like a lot of networking stuff. We need to do like additions for the networking engine to actually record all of this kind of replays, and we are actively thinking about adding something to arena, and if we will add it over there, we will use it eventually in other modes. So this is the idea.
Okay. Next question. I feel like this one's kind of obvious, but can you, whenever unconscious states are added to Tarkov, can you loot unconscious players? And I assume it'd probably be yes.
Yes. You'll be able to loot your prison pocket for sure.
Get deep up in there.
There's the container.
I feel his keys.
Shit. Yeah, like the whole unconscious thing is related to animational system overhaul, and actually have several kind of clips where animation team presented the changes that we will able to implement in the game within the next patches. So it will be more how to say it, you will be able to move freely in terms of blind fire and stuff, and you'll be able to do different kind of things that will not be able to do before, and this means that we will add the ability to lose your, like, to have an unconscious state, and yeah, like to drop just to drop on like on the floor with the hit or something. So yeah, and the thing is that we want to do it at first, and then we'll see how we can use it properly, how we can make some new features based on this feature.
Okay.
This is actually the first time I've ever heard you talk about it. So I had the Twitch up on my phone. This is the first I've ever heard of an unconscious state being added to Tarkov. And first of all, the whole thing about prison pocket was hilarious. But
yeah, I think that was sarcasm too, Chad. I don't think lootable secured containers will ever be a thing. I mean, maybe it could be, but I don't think so. I mean,
what are you so excited about, little Jimmy? Well, my favorite game is going to allow me to dig into other men's buttholes.
It's going to be great. Can't wait. I know he has a GPU in here.
For $6,000, you will be able to loot secure containers. Come on. Okay. Yes. No.
Yes. Good money. Very good.
I know I saw somebody allude to that back in the day, like on Twitter, like before this most recent wipe, saying that the new wipe, you would be able to loot secure containers, and I shit myself. I was like, oh my god, I'm done. I can't play this game anymore.
Yeah.
No, it will not be, because like I don't want any to explain it, because it's a basic thing in the game, and it's not cool to change it, because like it's not cool to change it.
At least cool mechanic.
Yeah, at least something it's needed to be, and at least some stability, at least some comfortability within the game, that something at least will be saved in your
in your butthole.
Of course.
If a man's butthole isn't sacred, what do we have?
Nothing. Then the whole game is just violation then, huh? It's a damn shame. I guess a personal question about the game for me. I've always been a fan of like stealth games like Metal Gear Solid and like Splinter Cell. Do you ever see like possibilities of being able to like sneak up behind other players and like choke them out, or like do a knife takedown on them, or maybe even be able to move like in a covert manner, like being able to go prone up and down very slowly and quietly, or be able to aim your gun very slowly and have it be quiet, like almost like nice.
That would be
like
very
like just like a covert, like, because we have like covert movement, but like real covert, like looting something, and the looting is very slow but it's very quiet, and etc. etc.
Actually, I have this, like, the part of the design document related to that, and it's actually related to skill covered movement. And yes, like, at least it was planned to have two types of looting: fast one, loud, and the slow one. And the doors, the fast and slow.
That would be cool.
And knife takedowns.
Can we use WD-40 and like squirt it on the hinges, like, and then like it opens up real quiet, like that'd be like a fucking Hank
This was
Hill
the
out there.
conspiracy, the conspiracy, and this is why WD-40 has been in the game this whole time. We were waiting for this mechanic.
I don't know, maybe. And several things, I don't remember exactly what in there, but yes, like to have an actual, like, real life ability to move quietly and to like commence some covert operations, covert actions on enemies, or like on infiltration in the building or something. It's a cool thing, and especially it's really usable in real life, and that's why yeah, I think it will be added eventually, when everything will be all right and beautiful and fancy, and no cheaters, no desyncs, only good players, no toxic players.
I can't wait for the Jaeger quest to choke out 5 PMCs and loot their prison pocket. It's gonna be great.
Who dropped the soap? Part 2.
Except you got to put the soap in them.
This is why we're not allowed to. This is why Nikita doesn't hang out with us.
Okay, what's next? Let's do a couple of questions more.
Brandon, your turn for some questions. You asked Nikita some questions.
I'm just gonna ask some nerdy stuff, dude. I don't.
Nerd out, man.
People care about. I'm over here like. This is very relevant to me because like I think I get a bunch of stuff over like. I talk to a bunch of guys in Russia and things, and like the markets between like what's common there is cool for me. versus like what's common here, like the differences between the two. So like the new Russian gun laws, man, have been like that's been a lot of Americans even like they don't understand it, but it's been a big topic of discussion for the
Mhm.
people who are big into like the AK sphere and whatnot. We've kind of been tracking it. So we're really not sure how between either the ammo ban or the recent Russian gun laws about the blank firing guns and about the 366 and everything, that we're not sure how that's going to impact everything. And it's really kind of cool though. Like it's cool that there's still able to be that relationship, even though like clearly our governments don't want there to be, especially in the gun space. That we're like still like at the end of the day, there are gun guys in Russia and there are gun guys in America, and we both like each other a lot. But I don't know. I'm very curious to see how that's going to impact things long term.
I think your gun industry will adapt because it's huge, and your citizens like armed much more than Russians, for example, and the percentage,
Right.
and your industry will adapt, and like I think everything will all right, and you have lobby, and eventually, with the small steps, with the small victories, you will be able to change things. So I'm not afraid about you. Actually, I think you're the most armed nation in the world, and you have
Goddamn right.
all the, yeah, God bless America, and all of the fancy stuff, all of the guns, all of the training methodologists, all the like top notch, top tier things is located in US and getting like flowed out of US. Europe too, actually, but US like the mainstream, it goes from yours, from the US. And Russia is more like military oriented country. We have a lot of military stuff. It's mil spec stuff just for the army, for the Spetsnaz, for the Marines, like Russian Marines, like for the Air Force. Because we have our army is big. It's being constantly upgraded. It's being constantly rearmed with new weapons, and it's everything about it. Because aggression, we need to like in the Middle East, like a lot of stuff going all around the world within the country and near the borders and stuff, and we must be prepared and everything like military related economy. I can say that. And Russian civilian weapon market, it's so small because literally in percentage is just, it's not like hundreds of people, it's like millions of people, but not that hundreds of millions. Like you have, I think, more than 100 millions of people armed in US. We have something like 7 millions or 6 millions total.
I think we have
It's
more
not enough.
guns than people in the United States. I believe there are more actual guns than human beings.
Well,
Yeah.
who? I wonder who's throwing those statistics out of whack. That's weird.
And the thing is, like in Russia, we have more guns than ever in the world, but it's not for the civilians.
Yeah,
It's
it's like
for
military. It's not like in
the
warehouses and shit.
military. Yeah, and that's why all of these changes are moving to protect the mother Russia, protect the borders, and to rearm our army, make it stronger. And I totally understand that, and it's understandable. And of course, they will not like get used with some kind of guys who likes weapons and gear, and he just want to unite all of the gun world together, like military gun enthusiasts, civilians, like have some fun and shoot together. And this is it. Nothing, no aggression, no. It's just, I don't know. It's just something interesting to do, to watch, and to feel. And they don't give a shit about it because it's not important. It actually doesn't give them any additional big kind of money or an influence or something. And of course, especially with the bad scenarios, bad cases of the use of the weapons, they like other time, the next time they will think about it and like, why should we need this? because they just shoot each other. They do this mass shooting and stuff. We better ban everything, and it will be all right because they are like nothing comparable.
Because if you ban the tools, the people who want to kill other people will become better humans.
I always find
they'll grow a conscience,
Yeah, I always find it funny too when people try and compare like gun laws that work in like other countries compared to the U.S. But like most of the time, the countries have like a fraction of the population than the United States. Like Australia, for example, the entire population of Australia is the population of California, one of our states. And people just assume it will work 1-to-1. Oh, it works in this country, so no, it won't. Because guess what? We're the United States. We have completely different cultures, backgrounds, and history than all of those countries. And those laws won't just work over here. That's just not how that's not how that works.
And not to get too political or anything, but remember when Australia was like real up about like, oh yes, look at how progressive our gun laws are. What are you kidding me? You're telling me that my government's going to come after me and make a social media app that I have to prove that I'm in my house within 15 minutes, or the secret
No, that
police will
shit's
come get
fucking
me?
crazy to me. That shit's fucking crazy, man. It's like some like Black Mirror type shit.
Yeah, it's
And just to continue the issue that our part like of the influence on the world, on the gun world, Russian part will be, I think, like will be drained. Not entirely, but I think it will be a huge impact on the whole gun culture in Russia. And I was on in the army 2021. It's a huge expo in Moscow, like a lot of cool stuff actually, but for the militaries. And there is at that moment, like half a month ago, we didn't saw anything new. It was the same thing, and especially like the old participants from the last year, they were absent. Like it's just Kalashnikov, Molot, Snitoshmash, and that's it. So and nothing new, especially in the civilian market. Like nothing new in terms of like guns, which can we buy actually. And this is it. And especially when they draw this life from this sector of civilian market, uh, all of the like plans will work less, and they will not have a reason to invent something new and make something new. And with the bans of the export, import, and stuff, it's also doesn't help at all. And the thing is, it's not needed. And I don't know actually what to say more. We are sitting here. I don't have any power, like even relatively to somehow influence on that, because it sounds like even it's too impossible for me. So
Yeah.
I'm just using what I can get, and this is it. And what I can't get, I implement in the game. At least in the game, it will work, and I will have an ability to fire from AUG, for example, or SCARs. We can buy actually SCAR in Russia here. I saw the
You can get them from Belgium, right?
yeah. Like I saw, we have imported in Russia. We have imported several, like tens of dozens of these rifles, and it's a civilian version of SCAR H. It looks cool and costs a lot. I think it costs. Let me translate it in dollars.
You got to convert it to freedom
Convert,
units there,
yes.
Freedom
buddy.
units there, bud. You don't want to speak American over here, boy.
Some serious mathematics here.
It's incalculable.
$900.
What?
What?
Thousands.
Oh, I was
You're
like, send me
dude.
one. Holy shit, $9,000. That's a lot for a SCAR, frankly, because I think here in the U.S. they're like 3,000 to 4,000, somewhere close to that.
Rate,
Damn.
yeah, depending on what it is, like 17, 16. It's like bare minimum. You're looking at $2,500.
Yeah. Oh, right. And I found out I can get a DVL, Nikita, in America. There's a company out of the Netherlands that makes them. They make DVL 10, and I can get one. 13,000. No, it's $13,000, but it's a DVL-10. I can get the Urbana or Saboteur, but I
Oh,
can get one, and I've been thinking about it because the DVL is like my favorite bolt rifle in Tarkov, and
DVLs is good. I shot
it's
from
cool.
them,
It's
and
cool.
it's good.
It's heavy. It's a
Yeah,
fucking heavy gun.
heavy, but yeah, like I shot from a 3.38 version, and it was like pure boom. Like it was cool.
Nice. That's
Uh,
cool.
and we, I know that last year, like last 2 years in Russia, there is at least 2 or 3 companies which started to operate in Russia. They create like practical shooting weapons related to that thing because we have like the IPSC here, and it's actually big in Russia, and this is like the perfect reason for many of gun enthusiasts and those who want to shoot to enter the gun culture, starting with the like IPSC membership. And it's good, but again, it's IPSC. It's not nothing compared to actual like tactical stuff that I like
Hmm.
most, and it's cool. At least like it's cool. We have not so many places to shoot, but again, at least it's something.
Actually,
So
that's another that's a question I actually meant to ask too, because you guys get to like because of course I follow a lot of you guys over on Instagram and everything, and a lot of the stuff you guys get to play around with is really neat. Like it's stuff
Hmm.
that I know for you guys it's probably hard to get, but for us it's literally impossible. Like the AK 521V, AKV 521, different things like that that you guys are just able to play around with. I was curious, is that something that you can talk about as far as like how you're able to arrange like range days and things with this, or is that something that you don't want to speak
no,
about?
I can say about it. Like you go ahead, ask some questions. I think it's nothing super secret about it.
That
Right.
SR3M pistol, that 9x21, the new one, that thing looks really cool. I wish I could own one of those, or like PL15s, for example. Like I really wish I could have one.
They wanted to actually export it in US, and I think it will not be possible at least for a year, the next year.
Because the
Because
caliber's a little different. Because 9
It's
by 21 is that 9 by 21 Dylan?
well, the PL15's 9 millimeter,
yeah,
and the
yeah,
yeah.
9x19. It's like
Oh, 9 by
power.
19. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, they have different versions, but they adopted 9x19, 9x18 Makarov, and uh, and that's it.
Hmm.
So it's like it's a Russian Glock basically. It's a Russian Glock because it's not like Glock technically, but it feels like a Glock. The ergonomics are really familiar for those who use the Glock. Even the front sides and back, like the back side, it's replaceable with the Glock.
The grip looks really comfortable. It looks like it molds on the palm
I
very
have
well.
the blank firing version of it right here. It's a blank firing version, PLK
Yeah.
compact version of it, and it's really cool. Personally, it's the best gun. It's the best handgun that I shot with, and even
Does
like
the trigger have like, is it spongy or is it like a nice clean 1911
no, it's
break?
nice, clean, and most of all, it's not like plastical kind of feel like Glock. It's more like reliable military spec trigger.
Mm.
Like it's it's good.
It's so cool for me to see like you running that gun with an Enforce light.
Yeah, dude.
Like, that just kind of blows my mind. It's just fucking cool. So I've got that shit like right over there.
Lucas laughed at me for having Enforce on my guns.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, those are trash, and I'm like, okay.
Would
I
he
don't
would he
know. I like
prefer
it.
mod light?
No, he. Oh yeah, or it's a TL1s or TLR1s, whatever the hell they're called. That's what he likes to run.
Yeah,
So
I had one Enforce light that they had sent out to me, and we didn't run it because it broke immediately. Like it was like the new prototype for their aluminum housing model, and it all of a sudden decided that it didn't want to turn off unless you remove the battery, which you cannot do when it's attached to the gun. You have to take it off of the Picatinny to do that. So
hmm
it's a feature.
Actually, do you know something about the all light? I like every time I post something with the all lights in my Instagram, everybody started typing like, "Oh, light! Oh my god, the flex is ruined," and something like
Yeah,
this.
Olight is
I
kind of like in the US, it's considered to be like cheap Chinese bullshit. They have a big, I guess, influencer program that I've never been involved in, but like they pay people to do reviews and all sorts of stuff on it. But apparently they're just like cheap Chinese lights that apparently explode.
They explode.
Yeah, you know, did you? There, like some dude died. I don't know if he was like in Michigan or some shit like that, but he was using an Olight flashlight to work on his truck, and he like bit on it, and he's like holding it in his mouth, like
Oh God.
doing shit, like working on his truck, and then it blew up, and I think it fucking killed him.
Oh my God. That's horrifying.
Yeah, lithium ion, it's fun stuff.
I'm always trying to get like different kind of things because this is my work to actually look and feel how it will be in the game, of course. And I'm always trying to get as much things as possible here. It's pretty hard because the overprice is huge. For example, if you like buying something like this is like EOTech Town version EXPS 3, and it will cost here in Russia, let me calculate it. Oh, it will cost 1,100, 1,100 here
For a light?
for a
The
EOTech.
optic.
Oh, an EOTech. Oh, sorry, I misheard you. Damn.
For EOTech, so
Here
1,100.
roughly it's like
Is that
$550.
is that night vision capable though?
Yes,
Damn. Because
and but
I
it was
like EOTechs. They're nice. I mean, they kind of
it
get a
was
bad
like,
rap. But
pretty hard to get, and I was waiting for it like for the 3 months, and the overprice is big, and especially for some advanced stuff like night visions and like helmets and other things. Like it's not an easy thing to get, and that's why I have different kind of lights: Surefires, all lights, Inforce. I have even stream lights and Arisaka light lately. Actually, it's pretty cool because they do the great stuff to providing you like you select the body, you select the head, you select the back thing, and you like combine it all together to make your perfect light. It's cool, and of course the zenith lights and stuff, and they like behave differently. You use them differently, and for me, it's just a good information to represent it more correctly within the game. I think this is a unique opportunity. I don't know anybody personally who do things like this, like test things and try to represent it in the game that he develops. I
well,
think
yeah, no, there's not a lot of developers who do that. I mean, I know some devs kind of do that, but they like go to the firing range like one time and shoot some guns and be like, oh, we understand perfectly how this will, be made to our game and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
But
it's kind of like the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's like you learn a little bit and you think, "Oh, no, I've been to the range. I know how guns work." It's like,
yeah,
"No, no, no, you know just enough to think you know
yeah,
what you know, but like you really have no fucking clue how
yeah.
much
I
there
mean,
is
like
to learn."
Nikita and his team are going like every weekend, every Sunday, and they're always like doing competitions
You
and all
guys
this
are
kind of
like,
shit.
I'm a professional gun guy and you guys go to the range more than I do.
Hmm.
Like,
for us, for myself, it's a relief. It's a great relief. It's only relief actually, because uh, it's all work right now, especially right now when we have like big plans next 4 months, like a lot of patches and stuff. We are preparing for crunches. We are preparing for different kind of things, and this kind of like ranges gives me like this feeling that I'm actually resting a little, at least
It's
on
stress
Mondays.
relief. I mean, that's what martial arts is. Because for me, guns are martial arts. They are, and it requires a certain mentality to train with them and be around them and have a certain level of maturity when handling firearms. But when you go out and you practice destruction, training to destroy things, there's something very calming about that, and it makes you like almost like less violent. It makes you less aggravated.
Seriously. No,
Yeah,
no.
it's very
I think
calming.
there's really a thing there because like I don't know if you could maybe attest to this, but like I pretty much carry a gun everywhere I go, especially like more recently. And I because that's perfectly legal here. I've got my CCW and everything, which apparently you don't even need anymore. But
Hell yeah,
like
Texas.
when I'm out and I'm carrying a gun, like I almost feel a need to de-escalate more than usual because it's like, okay, if I get into a fist fight, this shit gets real. So like I
Yeah.
really need to like, okay, cool, dude, like turn the other cheek. I really de-escalate at all costs because it's like, okay, I know what I've got, and that changes things. So like you really become a very like guns make people violent. No, it makes me like way more peaceful than I probably otherwise would be.
Honestly, I hate the people who are like, man, I wish a motherfucker would. Just bought this new gun, man. Wish somebody break my house. I'm like, man, you're a fucking psychopath. Why would you want violence? You're fucking crazy. What's wrong with you? Like,
Those
those
are
are
the
the
kind of people who have never
yeah.
pulled a gun on a human. Like
Yeah,
they
well,
just you could tell they've never done it.
well, they're the type of people who have pulled a gun on somebody and they didn't shoot the motherfucker. Because like if you pull the gun out, like you better pull the fucking trigger because like that's what that thing is made for. It's not used to threaten anything or what. The only time I feel like that is like an okay thing to do is if say a guy has a knife or something like that, or if you're like you're a police officer and you're like, hey man, like please God, don't fucking come close to me. I don't want to kill you. Like please put the knife down. Blah blah blah. I've seen plenty of instances with cops who, draw their firearm and they don't fire because they're like, please fucking fuck's sake, don't get close to me with that knife. And sometimes they even let him. I've seen a couple of Donuts videos where he did some breakdowns and like that shit was nuts. Like, because if I was that cop, I probably would have shot the dude, honestly. Like,
yeah, like honestly,
very
like,
scary
please,
shit.
like, don't make me do what I know I can do.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
That's where you get like and that's where you have like the stable humans who know, like, okay, it's not a good thing to take a life. Like, this isn't something to take lightly.
I mean, I hope for the rest of my life my guns are used to shoot targets. And I always dislike too how people try and treat guns like, oh, this gun is for hunting, this gun's for competition. It's like, no, like guns were made to kill. That's literally by design what they're made for. They're weapons. That's what they are. And people will try and justify like it. Oh, it's not really for no. It's meant to destroy and kill. That's what the purpose is of a firearm. But just because that tool is meant to destroy and kill doesn't mean it can't necessarily do something that benefits life, like preserving life, like.
It's just like cars. It's like, okay, well, sure, you've got a drag car. Sure, that is perfectly decked out for competition, for drag, to be as fast as possible on a quarter mile. That doesn't mean that the base vehicle was made as a mode of transportation. Like that's what the original thing was built to do.
Definitely.
In Russia, it's a little different in terms of like everyday carry guns and stuff because we're not allowed to have pistols with the like ammunition, like with the bullets. We're only allowed to have rubber ammunition and rubber pistols, and it's considered as non-lethal ammunition. Of course, it could do it can make a lot of damage, but it's not lethal. And your like position is more, it must be more cautious and must be more, how to say it, like you must understand that you're definitely carry a deadly weapon. And we are like carrying I'm not carrying actually, and because I use it only on the range for the training purpose. And this changed a lot because the rubber pistol will like you will have a chance to survive, and these chances are pretty big. With the pistol with the 9mm, chances pretty low actually, and you must understand that all of this importance of the moment.
Sure, and there's a lot of people I think in the chat who don't understand like the Russian gun laws as far as like they say rubber pistol. You're not literally talking about a pistol that's rubber. It's like a blank. It's almost like a blank firing gun that fires rubber projectiles, like simunition or something. That
if it hits you in the eye,
up.
it'll fuck you up. Like it hits you in the eye, your eye's gone.
Like there was the video that I did recently, Darwin Awards, where a guy takes a Makarov that's apparently a rubber firing pistol, like non-lethal kind of thing, but does like a Russian roulette kind of thing, and pops himself because the other guy did a decocker and was like making a joke almost, like, oh, click, okay, haha, Russian roulette, and then the other guy doesn't get it and pops himself in the temple with a rubber projectile, and apparently he went into a coma. He survived.
I was going to say it probably shattered his skull.
It's just because it's not technically lethal doesn't mean that it A won't kill
Yeah.
you and B won't fuck you up.
Yeah.
We tested it on the I don't know how to say it in English. With like the pants and the meat, we bought it from the market. And we
A
tested it
Russian ballistic test.
Russian ballistic S test.
This is my stepbrother Yuri. He owes me a lot of money.
So, like it was pretty like big, actually, big holes. We shot from 5 meters, like the standard distance for this CQC kinda brawl near the bar, and it was pretty dangerous. And we decided that if you will decide to shoot, be careful, because if you will try to shoot in the head, you will most likely kill or heavily harm this guy, and you will go to the jail, even if you will be right. Because in Russia it called I need to translate it because it's a pretty interesting fact.
Because here in the U.S., like it's one of those things where like if you're being attacked or something, somebody's holding a knife to you, or like somebody's robbing you, or some states like even in the
That's
middle of
defense.
felony, like you can shoot them with a lethal weapon. That's perfectly acceptable as long as you're not a felon and you're within your rights in the state.
Well, there's
In
even
Russia-
some. So go ahead, Nikita.
In Russia, it's called excess defense. So
Excessive defense.
excessive defense. All of the situation on the street, if you will try to actually, so if you pull a gun and will start immediately shooting at this guy, you will go to jail, because you need to say like, "Oh, come on, I will be shooting right now. Please stop."
Try and de-escalate.
If like you're so the next thing, if you actually done some shots and you actually hit this bad guy and he's bleeding, and if you're not not giving him any help, first aid help, and he will bleed out, he will go to jail.
That's actually
No
something in the
kidding.
U.S. too. So if you do get into an altercation and you do discharge your firearm and shoot somebody, even if you shot the dude's head off like clean, if you try and administer first aid, that is seen as like remorse and can help you out in like a legal situation. In America, it's something that
We also go the opposite way though too,
mhm.
because that's one of those things where there's people where if you like there's states and cities especially where firing a warning shot, for example, is illegal. You
Mhm.
can shoot this person in the face and kill them, legally speaking, but if you fire a warning shot in the air, that's against the law.
It's weird.
It's
Yeah.
really weird. It
Dude, I
really
mean-
like state to state, it's very different.
And there's other states too where if somebody breaks into your house and they're a felon and they have a weapon, like a lethal weapon, knife, or a firearm, and you kill them, you could technically go to jail
Mhm.
for doing that.
Yeah.
You have to be just like hide in your closet or something and call the cops and hope they show up. But
You
I
have,
don't
we,
know, it doesn't make
we
sense
also
to me.
have different kind of licenses here. Not license, the permissions here. So after you buy a weapon, you need to register it and receive a permission to use and carry, hunt and carry, just storing, and for the collection purposes. And for example, if you have a gun bought for the collection purposes, and some bad guy will break in and you will shoot him with this gun, you will go to jail, because it's forbidden to
Mhm.
use this gun
Mhm.
as a protective weapon.
That's interesting.
And that's where we have like American phrases like it's better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6.
Yeah.
Same
It's-
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, okay, I know this is the law, but I would rather just kill this motherfucker and then have to deal with the court proceedings later,
Mhm.
that have to worry about like, okay, well, I guess not have to worry about anything at all. At that
Well,
point.
in Texas and Florida and states like Tennessee and stuff, we have what's called stand your ground or castle doctrine as well,
Yeah.
which basically is like if I'm in my car or I'm in my house and somebody's in my home and they're not allowed to be there, I can legally just kill them, and I am protected by law via the castle doctrine. And that's also like an extension to your vehicle as well. But like you can't like there's like there's like weird like loopholes to it. So if it like happens like outside of your house, like right outside like the walls of your home or your door, that's where things can get a little tricky. Or if like you're in your car, if you get out of your car, you're no longer really protected by that anymore. It's really strange, but yeah, interesting stuff.
Overall, this like topic is above everything. The security part of it, the uh, like self-cautious things. You must be like really confident that you are carry and storing and having this the deadly weapon. And even if you decide to just shoot some targets, you must understand that you are moved to a different kind of level of citizenships. Like it's a different kind of like you are more responsible citizen. You are getting treated like differently because you have a gun in Russia, especially, and you must understand that. For example, the next year, the new gun laws will add new kind of things that if you uh, break the law, like administrative law, not like mm, not like something like big and scary. For example, you forgot to pay the ticket, like traffic ticket or something, like parking ticket, and you forgot to pay it, you will receive the administrative um, punishment, so called. And if you will receive it again, they will take all of your guns away and remove all of the licenses, all of the permissions to have guns.
Kind of
That's
sounds
kind
like
of
red flag laws. So
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. That's where that's become a thing in the States in the last couple of years is red flag laws as far as um there's been different variations like, Dan Crenshaw came under fire for that. His were a little different, like kind of like a middle ground thing, which I'm not a fan of, but like the overall thing is like if somebody like puts in a complaint against you, like, hey, I think this guy's planning something, or hey, this dude's might be a problem, like for a potential mass shooting or something, that they can come and take your guns away, and or like at least for like a few week period while they figure things out and whatnot. And it's
Mhm.
kind of interesting how that translates country to country, because we were dealing with that about
And
a
they,
year
and they
ago.
and they just added a whole bunch of laws, like if you pee in an appropriate place in the city, it's also this kind of red flag thing will be next year. So
doesn't it
like
have to be family members though, or like somebody directly related to your family?
It depended on who, like, or on what state and which proposition.
Okay.
Some states, like some of the blue states, it was like literally anyone can just say, hey, I don't trust this guy, he said some scary things to me at the library, and then they can come
Mhm.
take all of your shit.
And that's how it is in Russia too.
Not like this, but it moved. Like if our gun culture and overall gun owners would be like increased more, eventually the gun laws will be mutated and there will be additions to them, and eventually it will be something like in the US. But I think it's impossible here because they are moving fast. I mean, politicians moving fast, and they cut the lines, cut this uh, bypasses, and they do their work pretty good. And I think it will be regulated as much as possible, and it will stay like this or even worse. So I don't know. We'll see. Because myself, like I'm already in this all of this like gun culture in Russia, and I'm not so afraid about myself. But all of this gun culture uh, is getting filled was getting filled by the new ones, like the rookies, the beginners, and they like limited pretty everything for them. And I don't think that this flow will be as big as before. So it will be big.
So I
Not
guess the thing that's on everybody's mind that this all boils down to is
Mhm.
when are you moving to Texas, and when can you join all of us out
Yeah,
here?
you need to come be here. Well, he has to finish
Yeah,
Tarkov first, so it's gonna be
yeah.
5
No,
more
he
years.
doesn't. No, he doesn't. He could just move everything out
I,
here. We'll figure it
I'm
out. We'll help you with it.
most likely I will visit US next year, early summer or the late spring. I think for sure. So I'm already planning that, and as I said before, I want to uh, visit and travel as much as possible in the US, and I think it will be pretty cool.
We're
I
gonna have you.
really,
We're gonna have you hang out with all the gun tubers and stuff. It's gonna be
yeah, yeah,
fun.
like
Let
literally,
party.
I want to shoot as many guns as possible. I want to take as many references as possible. I will bring my recorder.
Yes.
I will bring my and my team even. We will photo stuff, we'll shoot from the different stuff, record videos, and take a lot of information as possible. And of course, we will have some fun. We will chill, make some streams and stuff. I
We'll have
think it will
Escape from San Antonio DLC. Like,
like I have had a dream like I moved to San Antonio, Texas, and I was living there over there
yeah,
for
yeah. You can
years.
come to
It's
eggs
not a
with
dream,
us.
Nikita. It's not a dream. It's
It's the future. Yeah, you can come to eggs and have mimosas with us.
Oh, we'd love it. We'd love it.
We would
We'd
have a
accept
great
you in
time.
as one of us. You would get to shoot anything you want.
Anything.
Okay.
We have it all.
Yeah.
That was a very convincing okay, by the way.
Yeah. I believe them.
You know that like if that is simple, like it's not as simple just to
Yeah,
move
of course.
over there. But again, let's start from my actual visit in US next year, and I think it will be cool because literally I really want to visit US more often because again, uh, a lot of cool ideas also in
Mhm.
my head that I want to utilize over there with my friends, with my colleagues even, and to have some kind of cooperations. I have a lot of friends.
Who'd you bring over? Like, would it be like Demirka, Kiba, like a couple of the other guys?
Most likely, yes. Maybe more. Actually, I really wanted to visit some core audience, uh, like some core like team. I don't know how to say it. Like, for example, if you or anybody else will decide to move through the US with me with my team and meet different kind of people, and I just want to make it like this. So it will be not only my team, but also those who wants to travel with me through the whole
Yeah, I get it.
US.
We'd have like
And
a caravan bandit gang.
yeah, it will be like some party bus roaming like through the whole US territory. It will be pretty cool, I think. At least in my head, it sounds pretty cool.
No, I get it.
And
I think it's basically like a convoy of
Some
like
Mad
traders and
Max,
yeah.
Mad Max Fury Road shit with a
We have like
guitarist and a
yeah,
flamethrower.
yeah, that'd be awesome. Except it'd be hard bass and a DJ with a tracksuit. Like
I think it will be that vacation that I always dreamed, like that vacation, the ultimate vacation that I always wanted to have. Because right now, for the 10 years, I didn't have proper vacation, and it's always work, 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 but in some other place, like out of the city.
Mhm.
But it's still work, the same work with all of the stuff. But
Legitimate offer. Like if you guys want to come out here, like we will help fund it. We'll do it. I know at least I will. Like just come out here. You don't have to work if you don't
we
want
could
to.
probably we could
We
yeah
can
we
do
could probably
whatever.
cover houses for you guys, like places to stay, everything. Like we could
Legitimately.
organize all this. We could do all the logistics.
it's really cool, but it's really not a problem because literally I wanted to do something good for you guys too, and hopefully,
What if we want to do something good for you though? We can do good things for each other.
What if imagine, yeah, we all are in it for each other's best interest, and we're just really good people
Yeah.
who want to help each other.
Yeah, and we're not mutual beneficial relationships. They're rare to find. That's like how our friend group is here in Texas. Like myself, Brandon, like all the guys at BRCC, and all the other people who moved here. Like we're all like doing our own things and are successful by ourselves, and then we like choose to surround ourselves with each other, and we just like help each other out. And like it's just having like mutually beneficial relationships where neither one or the other is like using each other because we're already fine by ourselves. And like we've managed to create this just like really cool community where, you know, we just love each other and help each other out.
And of course, I really want to have this like good weather. You know, it's a simple thing because in St. Petersburg right now it's raining at least for a month already.
Same here.
It's cold already. It's 14 degrees Celsius. I don't know how much it's Fahrenheit.
It's like 60s, 50s.
It's let me say it's 56 Fahrenheit right now.
Today I think it was like 98 here.
Yeah. Yeah. The weather here in San Antonio has been so weird. Like it's been raining and then it's sunny and then it's thunderstorming and shit.
I think I want to end up more like Bernie kind of way where it's a little less humidity, it's like 5 degrees cooler there typically.
Yeah. I'm still trying to find a spot. I got a realtor. If you need a realtor, bro, I got you. I'll hook him up. JT hooked me up with him.
I might need a new one. I might need a good one because I'm looking here. I'm looking at we signed some deals recently. I'm looking at some land up there.
Dude, I freaking every time I find a spot, it's gone same day.
Yeah, dude, the real estate market's ridiculous. I'm not gonna get to like real estate here on the stream. That's probably super fucking interesting to anybody watching as San Antonio.
Yeah. So what's your social security number and your address that you're moving to? Like bunch of damn weirdos.
Internet. Yeah. Well, weirdos on the internet.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it was really good 2 hours. It was really good to talk with you guys. And,
and we only talked about Tarkov for like 10 minutes. It was great.
Yeah, it was perfect actually, because I know that most of the people in the chat wanted to have some clarification, some answers, but
that's why we're not under the Tarkov section right now. We're under podcasts and talk shows. And just so you guys know, like when we're doing these podcasts with Nikita, like this is not about Tarkov. Like it's a little tiny bit of Tarkov because obviously it's kind of hard to avoid Tarkov at all because it's Nikita. He created the fucking thing. But this is just we talk about politics and we talk about a bunch of different stuffs and we geek out about, you know, gun stuff and whatever. And that's the whole point of this. And if you guys don't want to listen to that, like this isn't the place for you. Wait until the actual community podcast for the game, and then they'll happen.
It will be tomorrow. Actually, it will be tomorrow. Community podcast on English. In English, I think it will be at 7 p.m. Moscow time.
That's like that's like 9 a.m. Pacific or so.
Yeah, and that's the cool part. A good bit of the chat at least seems to get it. Like this is just really, if we were all just hanging out on a Discord call, this is pretty much what we'd be talking about anyway. That's why it's like really nice and casual. So if you guys want to know what it's like to just hang out and shoot the shit with us, this is kind of the format.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get Flannel Daddy on another one. I gotta try and bug some of the other gun guys and see if they want to join in as well.
Why am I getting stale to you?
No, Brandon, I love having. I want you. Honestly, I like you on all my podcasts, bro. I fucking love your personality, bro. If you actually, dude, if you have anybody who you think would be good, let me know. Because I would like to do podcasts like this because I really want to do like more political, like libertarian type stuff on Twitch because nobody does it, and I think people are too scared to. But I ain't no bitch, so might as well do it ourselves, and we can speak our mind here until we get canceled, and that's fine.
I'm surprised it hasn't happened already, frankly.
Yeah, we'll see. We managed to make it this far.
I think we didn't talk about anything wrong.
No.
Forbidable. So I think it's okay. And
you think you have to be wrong to be canceled? Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, thank you everyone for watching the stream and watching the podcast. I'm going to be playing some games here in a little bit, so stay tuned, and we'll be playing some more games. Brandon, Nikita, thank you both for your time. Looking forward to seeing your new gun meme review. That's going to be fucking great. Nikita, thank you for your time as well. I know it's getting late for you over in Russia. And everybody else in chat, thank you, lovely peeps, for coming by and hanging out and watching the stream. Appreciate y'all. Peace out and take care, and I'll see you guys next time.